If there is any game out there I would say I have an embarrassing love for, it would be Doki Doki Literature Club. And let me be clear, the only reason I say it's embarrassing is because if my parents saw me playing it or watching a video about it or anything,
Let's go, Cupcake!
they'd probably mistake me for a neckbeard, take me out back, pressure wash me, and then cap me in the head. But you know what? I'm willing to take that risk, because this is one of the most defining indie horror games of its entire genre. It exposed millions of people to a terrifying fourth wall break, and it made me afraid of women forever. Hi, my name is Vivian from Benamal Media, and I'm here to wax poetic about the DDLC Resurgence. When I opened my TikTok feed on December 29th, 2025, I was prepared for three things: bizarre Reddit stories, Markiplier edits, and FNAF cosplays that ranged from a 6-year-old's Halloween costume to holy sh**, why does it have functional spring locks? What I was not expecting was to see an edit of Monica. I was a little surprised, but not too much, because after all, this was a really popular and respected game for years. So I saved it and scrolled on. But over the next few weeks, I slowly began to see more and more content built around DDLC. Fan art animatics, debates over who the best Doki was, and the phrase "just Monica" in unrelated comment sections. I was a little confused, but really happy to see such a great game getting more attention. Then I realized this was because DDLC had recently been ported over to mobile. Listen, I have just as little respect for mobile games as everyone else.
There's no controls. Mommy go. Maybe it's voice controlled. Mommy go. Mommy walk.
But I was pretty excited to hear about this. This didn't just mean more money for my beloved Dan Salvato, but it meant people who had been unable to play were finally getting the chance. It meant more attention for an amazing game that may have been initially shrugged off by people due to its art style and gameplay. And most importantly, it meant a new wave of people exposed to psychological horror and increased media literacy. I'm not saying that there haven't been other games that played with similar themes. The genre as a whole has exploded, and that makes me excited too. Psychological horror is one of those things that I feel clicks with the majority of the cultural zeitgeist. Not everyone is scared of a monster design or jump scare, but nearly everyone left mouthwashing still thinking about that horse and what an absolute terrible person Jimmy was. Horror elements that require thought and effort from you in order to be scary are a pathway to analysis, interpretation, and overall growth in a person. And Doki Doki is a great gateway to that. If for some reason you're here before watching or playing the game, get the
Freak out!
Spoilers are starting now, so go watch a plot summary or preferably play it yourself, and then come back because I need the views. You don't need to go searching for the horror in DDLC. It will find you no matter what path you take. You will always gently open that door. You will always end up in that room with Yuri, and you will always end up with just Monica. But just because these things are destined to happen doesn't mean there aren't other aspects that require a little more attention to detail and putting some pieces together. I'm mainly talking about the president of the literature club, my girl Monica, and the twist that she is sentient. You aren't outright told until the second act of the game, but there are certainly clues early on. It starts off subtly, with things like the squid joke with Monica's name that she complains doesn't work in translation, and Monica literally reminding you to save your game. These are tongue-in-cheek fourth wall breaks that don't even point you in the direction that she is a yandere willing to literally change her code for you. And because of this, the game is rewarding people who pick up on these jokes and remember them as the clues begin to pile up and the girl's behavior gets weirder and weirder. There is one reason everyone plays horror games: to find new reaction images. I mean, to be scared. Laying out little hints as to the scariest and most unnerving part of the game is indirectly rewarding those people who are willing to pay attention. It incentivizes the player to actually think about what's happening because they are rewarded with more fear. They get more of an adrenaline rush for longer because they are closer to understanding that monster hiding under the bed. And they get a dopamine hit if they end up predicting the twist correctly. There is a reason DDLC was so popular, and it was because it had the perfect combination of outright gruesome scares and the more subtle, underlying something's wrong type horror. And because it got so popular, the concept of psychological horror and fourth wall breaks was discovered by a new audience through Let's Plays. Admittedly, while most of them were probably way too young for it. But that's a topic for another video with actual research behind it, and not just a 17-year-old typing away while procrastinating biology homework. The point is that DDLC is back, baby, and today's youth hungers for the brain nourishment. That's why this Doki Doki Resurgence makes me a little more hopeful for the future. It's showing that a large number of people are still interested in engaging with thought-provoking media that can be a bit more challenging, instead of playing dopamine drip feed or scrolling for 11 hours on Instagram Reels. As someone who sometimes struggles to find people my own age to talk about movies or games or books with, I feel really encouraged and validated to keep analyzing all the media I consume in this world. Because at the end of the day, I don't want to just be a consumer. I want to create, and it uplifts me that others feel the same. We have officially lost the plot, though. I mean, this is just about some kawaii dating sim, and the curtains are just blue and all that. Some more concrete benefits of this comeback story are the actual fan works themselves that have been popping up. Every time I see a Doki Doki Literature Club video, I immediately save it to a collection, which, yes, is called Stan Natsuki, because I love Natsuki, she needs more hype. And I'm already in the 20s of videos. I've matured enough by this stage of my life that it doesn't even matter what the fandom or the quality of any fan content is to me. I just treasure seeing people my age and younger willing to put in effort and time for something they care about instead of just being passive. Usually, it makes me actually want to look into the fandom if I don't know much about it. My one exception, however, is Has Been Hotel, and I don't care, you can argue with the wall. That is not my cup of tea, thank you. This video basically boils down to me wanting to talk about DDLC and how it's helping me with my own apathy. I am an ennui warrior, alright? I've been dealing with a lack of care for a lot of things lately. But seeing people give so much love to a game that came out almost 10 years ago is just nice. And I know this is so clearly not a new phenomenon. This video could have been about moral oral and almost no main ideas would have changed.
Yarn, 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 yarn.
But this time it almost feels more personal. I love DDLC, and a lot of media I love gets similar judgment from people like my parents. There's a serious lack of willingness to actually give a movie or game a chance just because of a snap decision. Quite literally judging something by its cover. Holy, maybe I should give Has Been Hotel a chance. Anyway, I guess I just wanted to express that seeing something that gets rejected by so many be embraced over and over again by a new generation is beautiful to me. Even if that beautiful thing is an absolutely petrifying game about a sentient girl murdering her friends in horrible ways. The sun is rising on a new era of DDLC, and I am staring at it peacefully on my porch, with a whiskey in one hand and a Cuban in my right, as I see that the next wave of slightly traumatized but talented artists is taking their rightful place. Thank you for tuning in for my nonsense, and I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, I would appreciate a subscription. If I get literally 5 subscribers off this, I will make a 2016 style outro where I do the YouTuber face and play some dubstep as their names scroll down the screen. Shout out to my sister for editing this, and you should go follow us on Letterboxd for some interesting reviews. Alright, have a great day and don't break bad. Sincerely, your pal Benamau.